There's some drama before the start of the Foster's Melbourne Cup in the year 2000, and this horse Pravda just refusing to go up to the stalls. Finally, they might have managed to get Lance O'Sullivan on her back, and hopefully she will take her place in the field, but she's taken a long time to get up to the top of the straight. There you can see it down there. She's just been spooked by the big crowd. She's dug her toes in. She does not want to move despite the urgings of everyone around her. They're really finding it difficult to get this mare moving. Now she might be content to go up to the stalls. We'll find out in a minute. Now for the national anthem, our master of ceremonies to introduce Mr. Rob Gaylard.
Thank you very much, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you here to Flemington, and this afternoon the VRC have great pleasure in introducing to you a young lady who shot to prominence at the Sydney Olympics. She became the darling to sing the national anthem, Miss Nikki Webster.
Australia's new sweetheart of song, the lady who performed so well at the Sydney Olympics, Nikki Webster, a magnificent rendition of the national anthem. And if that doesn't send a shiver up your spine, nothing will. Well, they're still having all sorts of trouble with Pravda. She is just refusing to go to the gates at the moment. Surely they're going to run out of patience with her very shortly. Let's get the thoughts of a man who knows what this big day and winning on this big day is all about. The man who won the Melbourne Cup in 1965 and 1967, Roy Higgins. Roy, surely her time is running out, Pravda.
Oh, yes, I don't think the stewards can afford to hang on much longer here. This is interrupting the whole race. You've got to remember there's another 23 horses down behind that barrier carrying their weight and waiting, and they've had a pretty big build-up. Now, they can't carry on much longer. I'd say the stewards will pull the plug very early. I'm actually going with one of the imports, or I'm actually putting two of the imports in my top three tips, so I'm sure they wouldn't be appreciating this. I marked number 3, Arctic Owl, on top. I thought the horse looked outstanding in the yard. He's a big, powerful individual, 16.5 hands high. His coat was magnificent, beautiful and calm, and he did parade very well. Number 13, Behemoth, one of the locals. This guy will appreciate this track, and he will appreciate the 3,200 metres. He looked absolutely outstanding. The other import here, number 2, Far Cry. He looks excellent. His coat's a little bit dollish here today, so that may be a little bit against him, but he's a very fit horse. And number 9, Capstad. He looked outstanding. 3,200 metres, a slight question mark, but I must say he's a very, very fit horse. So for the big one, the Foster's Melbourne Cup of the year 2000, I marked them in this order: 3, 13, 2 and 9. Thanks, Pete. Good luck.
We are only going to have a field of 22 runners in the Foster's Melbourne Cup because Pravda has been declared a late scratching. Number 21, Pravda, a late scratching after refusing to go onto the track and then up to the barrier stalls. So a sensation before the start. Let's see if there's been any last-minute flurries of money in the betting ring. With the bookmakers is Tim Gossage.
Peter, the longer the delay, the more money comes for a couple of runners. Carpstab Way shortened another point. It's clearly going to run the favourite, and Yippee-I-O's in a couple of points as well. It's been best back late, but Carpstad Way has shortened in the last couple of minutes.
Carpstad Way, the favourite in the Foster's Melbourne Cup of the year 2000. They're about to be moved into the gates. They start at the 900-metre mark and they have a long straight run down to the first turn here. But that does not stop the Melbourne Cup from being a helter-skelter affair. The jockeys have already had the riot act read to them after last year's scenes, which resembled a demolition derby down the straight the first time. There was all sorts of interference and several of the runners had their chances completely ruined. Their second coming out behind the gates, number 7, with Michael Coleman in the saddle. It's in the shadow roll and has the red cap. Now, don't get your colours mixed up here. If you fancy number 24, Brew, it's got a black cap on. The rest of the colours are the same, and Second Coming does have a shadow roll on. Let's take you through the field and the tote figures as they stand on Super Tab, Queensland and New South Wales, reminding our overseas viewers that we do have two forms of betting here in Australia. The totalisator, the machine, and also the bookmakers, and combined between the two of them, they will hold something like $100 million on this race today. Our Unicorn, one of the outsiders, Second Coming again. Nervous times for these jockeys. Nervous times for the trainers who sent them onto the track because their job is now complete. Nervous times for the owners who in some cases have had these horses since they were yearlings. Today, all of a sudden, a dream is about to be realised for one set of connections. And as they move into the stalls now for this race, from the capital cities to the little country towns, this country, Australia, now grinding to a halt. Parliament's in recess, so everyone from the Prime Minister to all of us is about to be spellbound for about 3.5 minutes, after which another legend will be acclaimed and will be crowned. To the Aussies in New York we saw before, and every other part of the world, we say good luck and enjoy. I'm sure you will. Dan Malicki is ready to call his 12th Melbourne Cup, and with him, former champion jockey, Gary Willits.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Gee, I love the way Capstad Way's come through his preparation for this race. They brought him over here last March, gave him one run, took him back home, and he's come back, and by gee, he's certainly presented in the yard beautifully. To be ridden by Damien Oliver, our champion jockey. The imports all look very well. And there's the up above, the blimp shop, right above the Hertz blimp shop. Looks fantastic looking down on this course. Great crowd in front of us. Second Coming, that's a horse you can just see there. Michael Coleman on him. Good run down here. Dan, what's your thoughts?
Calmstad Way looked magnificent, didn't he? Number 9, and he's been really well backed in the ring in the last few minutes. Arctic Gal really took my fancy as well. Number 3 as he goes into the gates now, and the last one up will be Brew with our Unicorn.
Celestial Show seemed to get a bit toey too. It was sweating up fairly badly.
Now Brew joins them on the outside gate, a field of 22.
Yeah, right on.
All set for the Cup. Foster's Melbourne Cup 2000. Gates crash back, and they're off and racing to an almighty roar. One of the first to appear, Maritpour. Bohemoth jumped away okay. Freemason forward in the early part. Maguire scooting through from his inside draw. Mr. Nelson wider from Pastor Express. Coco Cabana and our Unicorn and Brew from wide draws are working across. So as they fan down towards the 600 metres the first time around, it's Maguire with the inside running with Far Cry. Also Maritpour, Lightning Arrow, Mr. Nelson in the red and white colours. Coco Cabana's about 6 wide. Wider still was our Unicorn. The Hind and Freemason tucked in just behind the leaders, and Diatribe's up into about 8th placing, 4 deep, 5 wide around him. Pastor Express, the Hind just drifts back there from Hill of Grace. Next was Arctic Owl, a length and a half away, Brew. Over on the fence was Yippee-I-O, and then came Bohemoth, then Zally. 3 wide Second Coming, a length and a half to Calmstad Way, then Celestial Show. 2 lengths to Citrus Prince, and Old Skybow is last and settles about 15 lengths off the lead, turning out of the straight. 2,200 metres to travel, and Maritpour in front by a length and a half to Mr. Nelson. Maguire third on the inside, Far Cry running 4th, Freemason 5th, Lightning Arrow in the centre 6th, and 3 deep was Coco Cabana. Then Hill of Grace, our Unicorns had no luck. Diatribe got a slight check there. Pastor Express is 4 deep. Bruce one off the fence about midfield. Diatribe around him 3 wide. A length away Arctic Owl in the predominantly yellow colours. Then Yippee-I-O on the rails. Next is Second Coming. A length back to Brew. Then came Bohemoth in Zally. Out there 3 deep is Citrus Prince. Next Calmstad Way, he drifts back to almost last with Skybow 3 wide. And Celestial Shows over on the inside. 1,600 metres left to travel. And Maritpour just led. Our Unicorns had no luck. Went up on the outside of the leader. Maguire running in 3rd position at the moment. Then Far Cry now 3 deep from Mr. Nelson. Freemason's had a good run, 6th on the inside. Lightning Arrow starting to improve with Pastor Express going forward in the orange cap. It's had no luck. It's always been out 4 wide. Coco Cabana's in about 8th or 9th position from Diatribe. Next on the inside, Hill of Grace. Then came the Hind, followed by Arctic Owl. Around the outside, second coming from Yippee-I-O. Then Brew, Citrus Prince, a length to Bohemoth. Then Enzali, Skybow, Celestial Show, and Carpstad Way is still last and would be 12 lengths off the lead. They have 1,000 metres to travel in the Foster's Melbourne Cup. Marit Poor narrowly in front. Pastor Express now second, has worked hard. Then came Maguire in 3rd spot, followed by Lightning Arrow. Diatribe charging up now out 3 and 4 wide around our Unicorn. Second coming is working into the race nicely from Citrus Prince. Freemason is now held up in traffic as Marit Poor gives ground very quickly. Arctic Owl well back. Far Cry is about midfield, running up towards the turn. In fact, he's giving ground very quickly. Second coming goes up with Citrus Prince to join Diatribe and Pastor Express turning for home in the Cup. Skybow's made a run around the field. The Hind working into it. Carpstad Way's made up many lengths into the home straight. Second coming led Citrus Prince. Running on now was Brew. Further out Carpstad Way and Yippee-I-O. Second coming 300 to go, led by a length. Brew cutting him down. Further out Yippee-I-O with a run. Second coming Brew. And then came Yippee-I-O. It's Brew going to the lead with 150 left to go in the Cup. Brew 2 lengths in front now. He's drawing clear of Yippee-I-O and Brew down to the post. Brew first, 2 lengths to Yippee-I-O. A photo for third between second coming and Carpstad Way. They were followed by Freemason, Arctic Owl next in, Celestial Show behind them. Then Hill of Grace, Pastor Express. Further back to Skybow. Next Maguire, Diatribe dropped down, had no luck, and then the Hind. Further back Citrus Prince, and then Enzali never in at Bohemoth. From Mr. Nelson, our Unicorn, Coco Cabana. Far Cry, one of the first beaten, and Marit Poor over the line in last place in the Foster's Melbourne Cup.
And Karen McAvoy, what a delight. He'll be incredibly jubilant.
What a ride. Here's Mark Aston.
We've got the owners of Brew. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a great thrill. It's a great thrill. The best race in the world, and we've won it. We can't believe it.
How are you feeling with about 400 metres to go?
We just so hard. Yeah, it's hard to speak. I mean, the horse is so beautifully bred. We thought we were a chance at the weight, but to actually win it, it's unbelievable.
And here's another owner. How are you feeling at the moment? Hello, mate. How are you?
First and third. It's fantastic.
Hey, guess what, folks? You've just won the Melbourne Cup.
We can't believe it. It's just best day of my life.
Congratulations. Lots of celebrations tonight. So, on behalf of everyone watching this coverage right around the world on Network 10, have a great night.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mark. Official placings in the Cup are 24, 12 and 7. 4th in was 9, Carpstad Way. 5th in was 3, and that was Arctic Owl, who ran a terrific race. A lot of horses were spent forces with 300 to go. Second coming went up to hit the lead on the turn. Brew the challenger. Yippee-I-O looked a danger. Carpstad Way was battling but was beaten, and that was it. There was only 4 chances with a furlong to go, Gary.
Yes, it was quite incredible. They took off early, a lot of the Diatribe, and those horses went very quick.
John Letts has Karen McAvoy has only just come out of his time as an apprentice. What a moment, John.
Oh, look, this is like me winning a Melbourne Cup, boys, because I seen Karen grow up from the time he could walk. He's one of the McAvoy, the famous McAvoy families. And, oh, boy, this is one interview that I really love doing. Karen, congratulations, mate. You first won the Melbourne Cup, and what about you? You've won it.
Thanks, Johnny. Best feeling ever.
And Mum's here, and
Mum and Dad come over on Saturday.
And Pop?
My nan and Pop, my Pop and my Dad, and my Uncle Tony, all my uncles that taught me everything, and they're in there in the stands.
Tony,
I think they'll be doing backflips.
Oh, look, how will your grandfather be?
He said he was going to jump the fence if I won the Cup, so he's probably already in the mountain yard.
You want to thank him, mate. This is your day. This is your history now. Your history.
I'd like to thank my Pop and my Mum and Dad and Nana and everyone else. They're all here today. And to win my Melbourne Cup on my first ride, it's just unbelievable. I still don't know I've done it.
And Karen, take us through the race. You drew barrier 23. You got across nicely. You were one off the fence. I noticed you going out here. After that, everything went to plan.
Just took it nice and quiet, and there's a whole bunch of them in front of me, so I just come back and got one off the fence near Yippee-I-O. Had a pretty trouble-free run. Just peeled out about 4 deep from about the 800. Followed Citrus Prince. Just bided my time all out the straight. Mike said not to get there too soon. Oh, it's unreal. Fucking best feeling.
It's a Melbourne Cup.
What about my manager, Glenn Darcy?
You've made him a millionaire.
Oh, he's done a great job, Darcy. Last year it's been special.
Karen, congratulations. South Australia is so proud of you. And Streaky Bay tonight, they'll burn the town hall down, won't they?
I don't know what they'll be doing.
Congratulations, Darren. It couldn't have went to anyone better. And we're really thrilled for you. Really thrilled. Australia is. Good luck to you. That was fabulous.
Thank you, John. Let's with Kieran McAvoy. Photo for third on the screen. The shadow rolled nose of second coming, just hanging on for third in front of Carpstad Way, Pete.
Thank you very much, Dan. Michael Moroney is just making his way down from the grandstand now. Congratulations, mate. Can you sum up the emotions of the moment?
Well, I saw the second coming take off and looked at the winner for a while. I knew he'd done a bit of work and saw Brew on his tail and thought for a while going to run first and second there for a while. But, yeah, real dream come true. If you ever believe in dreams, I actually trained to win the Melbourne Cup about 3 years ago and didn't train him at that stage. We hadn't even bought him. So just crazy how it's worked out. But just a slow maturing state, it's really come right and yeah, just great result.
When we spoke on Sunday, you thought that the outside gate might be a blessing in disguise, but it was a brilliant ride by Kieran McAvoy.
It was a very good ride. He got him in a really nice spot and he didn't panic when things went against him a little wee bit and a really great ride. Always had faith in Kieran. So, you know, we had jockey problems during the week and that. A couple of them got offered. We even offered the ride back to Brett Preble, half over, and he didn't ride and he sat in stand instead. So.
Underrated horse, this fellow. Not too many horses come back from the Melbourne Cup the previous year when they don't win to win the following year. He's a great stayer.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think probably the riding was on the wall. He ran 34 and 2 here for his last three when he went over 2,500 metres here last time. So he's got a turn of foot. He's got stronger now. And they've got to have that sort of enjoyment.
They're watching back home in New Zealand. I'm sure they're very pleased. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Michael Moroney, the winning trainer with Brew. What a training performance it was. And if you're a student of weights, then that horse was going to be the one to beat. As we said on Saturday, he dropped 7.5 kilos from his win. And now he comes back to scale. What a moment in the young life of Kieran McAvoy as he comes to the most prized place in Australian racing, the winner's circle at Flemington on the first Tuesday of November. Look at the elation on the faces of these connections. And why wouldn't they be elated? Even apart from the prize money, even apart from the prestige, they have etched themselves a name in Australian sporting history now. Their horse has won the Melbourne Cup. 3 cheers from the Kiwis, the delighted Kiwis. They used to come over here on a regular basis and pinch our cup nearly every year. Well, the overseas raiders have come over and tried to take it. They've only been successful once with Vintage Crop back in 1993, and now it's a victory from across the Tasman originally. Kieran McAvoy raises the whip in that black cap. He might have been in the second set of colours, but he was on the A horse in the Foster's Melbourne Cup of the year 2000. And now comes the important business, because it's all very well doing what he's done, but he has to go in and he has to stand on the scales beside Mr. Des Gleeson, and he has to hope that the needle goes around to 49 kilos. 7.5 kilos less than this horse carried to victory on Saturday. Kieran McAvoy wasn't aboard him then, but what matters is he was today. And his weight is okay. It's a moment that he's going to remember for the rest of his life. Of the beaten division, Yippee-I-O ran a wonderful race. He presented himself up about the 300, just couldn't make it. But today, all the glory is with Brew. We will be back to fantastic Flemington for the presentation after the running of the 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup on the other side of this.
Welcome back. Well, he won superbly on Saturday in the Saab, and look at him here. Brew, sired by Sir Tristram, one of the great sires, winning the Melbourne Cup of 2000. And Kieran McAvoy just absolutely beside himself. A young bloke coming here and winning the Melbourne Cup. Isn't it an appropriate name for a Melbourne Cup winner, Brew? Because let me tell you, there'll be a fair bit of that go down this evening amongst this lot. That's for sure. Absolutely thrilled. See, it just means so much. It means so much to win this race. Not just the prize money, as Peter Donegan said, but it's winning now one of the great races in the world. It has been for many years now. We're after correct weight from Mr. Gleeson. I think he looks pretty happy. There it is. We're clear. Time for dividends, please, Dan Malecki.
the winner, number 24, Brew, $16.90 for the win and $4.90 for the place. $2.90 for Yippee-I-O and $6 for Second Coming. Quinella, $66.90. The trifecta on the cup, $3,570.20. The running double paid $839.40. Officially fourth, number 9, Calmstad Way. Fifth in number 3, Arctic Owl. One of the best bred horses in the Southern Hemisphere. His dad was the great Sir Tristram, a world record holder with Group 1 winners, and his mum was Horlicks, a winner of the Group 1 McKinnon Stakes and also the Japan Cup. Tim Gossage in the ring all day long. Every update on the cup, he kept telling us, Brew's been back, Brew's been back. He'd been back, and he's won the Melbourne Cup now, Tim.
He certainly has, Dan, and talking to just a few of the rails bookmakers, and it wasn't their worst result. They certainly didn't win on the race. They took a lot of money, Diatribe, Freemason, Calmstad Way, but the result was pretty bad anyway because Brew, we walked in on course 20-1, started officially at 14s. At one stage it even got as low as 10-1. They did lose plenty on Brew. It was a good result for the punters, and there's going to be plenty of celebration and plenty of brews, I reckon, being consumed around the course and around Australia today, Peter.
Thanks, Tim. Yes, down here there can only be one winner, of course, that's the cliche, but I think we should still say congratulations to Alan Denham, the trainer of Yippee-I-O. He ran a mighty race, Alan.
Yes, he tried very hard. All honest to the winner, I think we had our chance at the furlong. I think we were pegging him back, and then the last little bit he just held us, but our bloke was gallant in defeat.
Must be hard to recall what went through your mind 200 metres out, can you?
Oh, well, we were pushing hard, you know, we're hoping for the best, but like I said, I think he held us the last little bit, but we were so proud of the horse, that's the main thing. He's
a remarkable story, this horse. Even in second placing today, he nearly died after getting that sickness 3 years ago, didn't he? Yes, well, that's been well documented. You hate to keep on harping on it, but you never know what might have been if it would never have happened. And 1 minute he's back just sort of winning welders and handicaps, and then he started to pick up and he just got better and better. So to sum up, what are your emotions at the moment? Are you disappointed? Are you just flowing with pride for the horse? Oh, look, everybody wants to win. If you come out here and said you were happy with second, you're mad, but the horse gets 10 out of 10. That's all we can give him. No question about that. Thanks for your time, Alan. Thanks very much, Tony. Alan Denham, the trainer of Yippee-I-O, who ran a magnificent race in the Foster's Melbourne Cup. And when he did loom up at about the 200-metre mark, I thought, here comes Yippee, and I expected the roar to go up from the crowd. It did, but they were roaring for Brew as well. And the lightly weighted horse, after that magnificent performance on Saturday, and then with 7.5 kilos lighter on his back, surely when they legged Karen McAvoy up onto this horse today, he must have looked around and thought a fly had landed on his back compared to what was happening on Saturday. 49 kilos, he's carried it to victory, he's carried it to glory in the greatest race of them all here in Australia, and one of the 5 great races of the world. The presentation is going to be made very shortly. The last horse across the line was officially Married Poor. For your sweeps around the country, Married Poor was the last horse across the line. Looks as though Far Cry may have gone amiss in the race. We will check with Martin Pipe and the connections of that horse before this huge crowd at Flemington. And just in case you're wondering, if you tuned in late and you didn't see Pravda going around, Pravda was a late scratching. It is time for the presentation and to hand over the trophy. Let's join our Master of Ceremonies to introduce the special guests. Here's Mr. Rob Gaylor.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, another wonderful Melbourne Cup. And it gives me great pleasure, but I'm not too sure how to introduce him. Do I introduce him as the chairman of the VRC, or do I introduce him as the managing owner of Brew? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andrew Ramsden.
Your Excellencies, the Governor-General and Lady Dean, His Excellency the Honourable Sir James Gobbo, Governor of Victoria and Lady Gobbo, the Honourable Steve Bracks, Premier of Victoria and Mrs Bracks, Right Honourable the Lord Mayor Peter Costigan and Lady Mayoress Susie Norton, Honourable Rob Hulls, Minister for Racing, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We've all just witnessed the 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup. What a great race it was. Congratulations to my co-owners. What a magnificent win. Brew wins the Foster's Melbourne Cup. And what a fabulous spectacle. The 15,000 Flemington Roses looking just sensational. I believe this is a record crowd for the modern era at Flemington. So thank you everybody for coming today. Our race, the race that stops the nation, is embraced by all Australians. I'm sure by viewers who've just seen the race in over 140 countries around the world. the rewarding association between the Victoria Racing Club and Foster's Brewing Group and Carlton and United Breweries Limited has seen the Cup grow to a level of interest we could only dream of in 1985. Together, we have successfully developed the Foster's Melbourne Cup into an international event watched by over 720 million people around the world. On that note, I'm delighted to thank and welcome Mr. Ted Kunkel, President and Chief Executive Officer, Foster's Brewing Group.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and fairly excited Chairman at that. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Foster's and the Melbourne Cup have been a tremendous partnership. We've been together since 1985, and this, the 16th Melbourne Cup, has been another excellent spectacle. You'll agree with that. Regrettably, this year is the end of that partnership, but we leave the sponsorship in the knowledge that the Melbourne Cup would not be the world's greatest all-age stayers handicap race without the backing of Foster's. We at Foster's are very, very proud of that achievement. We have had great pleasure from sponsoring the Foster's Melbourne Cup, and we wish the race very well in the future. Thank you to all of the major Foster's co-sponsors through the years, AAMI, Emirates and Crown through this carnival, and especially to you, the punters, who truly make this race what it is. Congratulations to Brew. What a great name for a racehorse. To Chairman Andrew Ramsden and all the connections, to Kieran McAvoy, great race, and to all those, in fact, who participated in this year's great race. It's now my pleasure. I would like to invite the Governor-General of Australia, Sir William Dean, to present the 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Governor, Mr. Premier, Chairman of the Victoria Racing Club, Mr. Andrew Ramsden, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Andrew Ramsden, the Chairman, and all the committee and staff of the Victoria Racing Club for yet again staging an absolutely magnificent Melbourne Cup Carnival. The Melbourne Cup is an important part of our national life and national ethos. Each year it not only stops the nation, it brings us Australians a little closer together. And the list of past winners includes most of the best-loved horses in our thoroughbred history. This year's winner, the 6-year-old bay gelding Brew, is a worthy addition to that list. I congratulate all the connections of the horse, the owners, represented by Mr. Andrew Ramsden and Mr. Paul Moroney, the trainer Michael Moroney, on not only picking up first place, but also picking up third, the jockey Kieran McAvoy, and the scrapper Andrew Clarkin. And now, with great pleasure, I present the year 2000 Melbourne Cup to Mr. Paul Moroney, representing the owners.